Amid the escalation of hostilities over an attack in Kashmir, the leadership of each country seemed to give itself a way out of pushing the conflict into war. New Delhi, for the first time in 5 decades, Indian warplanes crossed into Pakistan and conducted airstrikes on Tuesday. But in the jarring escalation of hostilities, the leadership of each nuclear-armed country also appeared to leave itself a way out of pushing the conflict into war. In India, where election year nationalism is fueling waves of anger over the militant attack in Kashmir that killed dozens of soldiers this month, the storyline was of righteous vengeance accomplished. "We won't let this country bow down," Prime Minister Narendra Modi told a charged rally in New Delhi, speaking in front of a backdrop with the photos of the Indian soldiers killed by a suicide bomber. In a statement, India's foreign ministry claimed that airstrikes near Balakot in northern Pakistan had struck the biggest training camp of Jaish-e-Mohammed, the group that claimed responsibility for the suicide bombing, killing a very large number of militants as they were planning another attack. But in Pakistan, where the domestic tone has been one of fatigue over enduring economic crisis and political ennui, the country's military command insisted that India's air incursion had achieved nothing. Prime Minister Imran Khan promised a response to the strikes, which he dismissed as a political ploy by Mr. Modi, carried out for domestic consumption before national elections. He shrugged off Indian claims that the airstrikes had resulted in heavy casualties or struck a militant training camp, according to a statement issued by his office. In a sign of escalating tensions, Mr. Khan summoned the National Command Authority, the body that oversees the deployment and management of Pakistan's nuclear arms, for a special session on Wednesday. The Prime Minister also called for Parliament to meet on Wednesday to discuss a response. With India claiming to have avenged the Kashmir attack, and with Pakistan claiming that India had done no real damage, it seemed possible that the situation could yet be diffused. Still, analysts cautioned that the crisis could erupt into something more serious if restraint failed on either side. Ikram Sehgal, a defense analyst with ties to Pakistan's national military establishment, said the country's response to the strikes would be measured, but he added, "The only question is will India's leadership be able to stomach it and whether we will go into a dangerous territory of further escalation." Residents around Balakot, the scene of the attack in Pakistan, said they saw no sign of any significant damage from the airstrikes. Pakistan's chief military spokesman, Maj. Gen. Asif Ghafoor, portrayed the incursion as a high-speed dip in and out by Indian jets as they were confronted by Pakistani fighter planes. He later posted on Twitter 4 images of a forested area pockmarked with small craters and debris, which he said was the site of Indian airstrikes. The view that little had been damaged was supported by military analysts and 2 Western security officials, who said that any militant training areas at the site, in the Pakistani province of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, had long since packed up or dispersed. Earlier reports had placed the attack in the Pakistani side of Kashmir, which is nearby. The suicide bombing by Jaish-e-Mohammed, on February 14 near Pulwama in Kashmir, was the deadliest in the region in decades, at a time when a heavy Indian security presence has been trying to stamp out any signs of insurgency in the disputed territory. India swiftly blamed Pakistan, which has a history of fostering militant proxies, for directing the attack. But Pakistani officials denied that Jaish-e-Mohammed had the freedom to operate within Pakistan. And Mr. Khan insisted that Pakistan would investigate the attack if India offered evidence. Through decades of tensions, Pakistan and India have gone to war over Kashmir twice, and have pushed to the edge of it many times. The brinkmanship has evolved into a dangerous but almost formalized language of escalation and de-escalation over the years. News of the strikes Tuesday sparked panic on both sides of the border, with Indian and Pakistani residents either fleeing their homes or stockpiling food, fearing a larger outbreak of war. Though India and Pakistan routinely shell each other across the line of control, this is the first time since the country's war in 1971 that either side has confirmed sending warplanes into the other's airspace. A resident of a Tarshisha village inside Pakistan, about 2 miles from Balakot, said he was woken up by loud explosions at about 3:15 a.m. Tuesday. He was reached by phone, and asked to remain anonymous out of fear of reprisal by the Pakistani authorities. The villager said that Jaish-e-Mohammed still ran a school in Balakot, but that the airstrikes missed the facility and hit an empty ravine instead, adding that there were no casualties he had heard of. Across the disputed border, hundreds of Indians fled their villages and towns scattered along the line of control on Tuesday, after fearing for days that tensions would only escalate. We first heard the sound of aircraft hovering above at around 2 a.m. We could not sleep, said Imran Khatana, a farmer from Salamabad village in Indian-controlled Kashmir. I pushed my family members into a bunker thinking something wrong is going to happen.